Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial on CSS grid layout by Simplilearn. In this tutorial, we will discuss everything needed for you to get started working with grid layouts. We will start by discussing what is a grid layout. Then we will move on to the features of the grid system and some basic terminologies which will help you understand the grid system better. In end, we will work on an example to understand the grid system. So let's get started. What is a grid? A grid is a set of intersecting horizontal and vertical lines defining the rows and columns. And what is a grid layout? So, CSS grid layout is the most powerful layout system available in CSS. It is a two-dimensional system, meaning it can handle both columns and rows, unlike Flexbox, which is largely a one-dimensional system. You work with grid layout by applying the CSS rules to both the parent element, which became the grid container, and the element's children, which become the grid items. The CSS grid layout excels at dividing a page into major regions or defining the relationship in terms of size, position, and layer between parts of a control-built HTML primitives. You can see this is the basic layout of a grid system. Like tables, grid layout enables an author to align elements into columns and rows. However, many more regular layouts are either possible or easier with CSS grid than they were with tables. For example, a grid container's child element could position themselves so they actually overlap and layer, similar to the CSS positioned elements. So here are the features of the CSS grid layout. They are fixed and have flexible track sizes. You can create a grid with fixed track sizes using pixels. For example, this sets the grid to the specified pixel which fits to the layout you desire. You can also create a grid using flexible sizes with percentages or with the new FR unit designed for this purpose. You can place the items into a precise location using the grid line numbers, names, or by targeting an area of the grid. The grid also contains an algorithm to control the placement of items not given an explicit position on the grid. You can define an explicit grid with a grid layout. The grid layout specification is flexible enough to add additional rows and columns when needed. Features such as adding as many columns that will fit into a container are included. It also gives you control of overlapping content. More than one item can be placed into a grid cell or area and they can partially overlap each other. This layering may then be controlled with the Z-index property. So, here are the basic terminologies you should know to work with the grid system better. The grid line is the dividing line that make up the structure of the grid. They can either be vertical or horizontal and resides on either side of rows and columns. A grid column is a space between two adjacent vertical grid lines. The size of a grid column is determined by the grid template columns property. On the other hand, a grid row is a space between two adjacent horizontal grid lines. Its size is determined by the grid template rows property. The grid cell is the single unit of a CSS grid. And in grid design, a gutter is basically the width of the space between columns. A gutter margin is the white space formed by the adjoining inside margins of two facing pages in a book, or a space between columns on a page. So, with this, let's now move on to the hands-on demo and see how the grid system works in actual world.
If getting your learning started is half the battle, what if you could do that for free? Visit SkillUp by Simplilearn. Click on the link in the description to know more.
So we are on the Sublime Text Editor open with a project with some basic background styles and nothing inside the body. You can see this is the basic background style we have pre-applied just to have a good look of the box model. We'll start by creating a container and wrapping our grid items in it. So let's create a grid and give it a class named grid container. and inside of it we'll put our different grid items. So we'll just create different grid items and give them a class grid item followed by a class number they belong to, so that we can easily distinguish between them. Just copy paste this 5 times. So we'll have the 5 elements on our page. Let's save the file and see how it looks on the page. So you can see we have the different grid items on the screen, so that it's easy for us to visualize. We have not applied any styles to them other than the visual styles. So we'll go back to our code. Let's go back to the CSS styling sheet. So to create the grid, we'll open our style sheet. We need to display grid on our grid container. So we'll select our grid container and set the display to grid. If you save now, you will see nothing changes. This is because the grid itself doesn't define any rows and columns for us to work with. It just, they give the alignment properly. Therefore, by default, it looks just exactly the same. To make the grid look actually grid, what you need to do is define columns and rows for a grid. So to do this, you will use a set grid template and set the column if you want to set the size of the column. We'll set the size to 100 pixel and 150 pixel. Now, if you refresh, you have the 100 pixel column on the left and a 150 pixel column on the right, and then the grid captures our next row. But what if we want our box to flexible size themselves according to the items inside of them? Here, we'll use a fraction in it. Instead of a 150 pixel column, we want one fraction of our size, and instead of a 100 pixel, we want the two fractions of our size. So we'll just replace with two fractions and this with one fraction. Now if you save the file and go back to the page, you will see that the items on our left here in our first column are twice as large as the item on the second column, and that's because of the FR units we have defined. You can see the difference in the sizes. The item 1 is the twice of the size of the item 2. Another thing you can do is with columns is use repeat. Suppose you want 4 columns of a size 100 pixel wide. You can just write repeat command and inside of it how many times you want to repeat the size. So we'll just delete this and use the repeat. We'll set the number of times we want to repeat and the size of the columns. Now if you save the file, you will see we have a 4 columns of 100 pixel wide. We can do the same things for row. Just set the grid template rows and define the size you want. Now you can see we have the symmetric size all around our container. If you don't know how large your grid is going to be, you can use the grid auto rows and this will determine the size of all the rows that is added after the template rows. Suppose we want all our rows to be 100 pixels. So we'll just delete the grid template rows and set the grid auto rows to 100 pixel. Now you can see all the rows are now 100 pixel tall. Let's change our column back to 100 pixel and 150 pixels so that it will be easier for us further. We'll just delete this grid auto rows. Now we'll talk about the spacing of the rows and columns apart from each other. We can do this with the help of the grid gap property. Grid row gap will give some spaces between the rows. Similarly, the grid column will give you the spaces between the columns. Now you can see the gaps between the rows and columns. Now if we want the same value for both the columns, you can use the grid gap property and mention the space. We'll just delete this too. And instead of it, we will use just the grid gap. And set the size to 20 pixel. Now you can see the evenly spaces between the rows and the columns. This is all you need to know about the sizing of the different columns and rows. Now let's talk about the positioning items within its grid cells. So for horizontal positioning, we could use the justify items and we can set that to center. So that centers each item within the cell. By default, it is set to stretch. You can also set it to start. Or end. Or space around. We will leave this to center. To vertically position the content, we could use the align items. The align items also accept the same values. We can set it to center. We can also set this one to start or end. We'll keep this to center as well. You can also align the entire grid within the container. So let's get rid of these to just demonstrate them in a proper manner. We could use the justify content and that will align the content horizontally within the container. We can also set this to start or to end. Just set this back to center. To align the content vertically, we could use the align content and the align content also accepts the same value. We can set it to center. a start. If you inspect the elements, you can see they are aligned centrally between the container. We'll just close this. Okay, so this is everything you need to know to get started with the grid layout. Grid works very similar to the Flexbox, but it allows you too much in terms of laying your elements because of its 2D nature. So this is it for this tutorial. Do leave your doubts and queries in the comment section and we'll make sure to answer your questions. Thank you.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.